Hello and welcome everyone. So this is just a little bit of what's been happening lifting wise, where I'm at. So first couple of videos is me deadlifting. This was from the other week where I was doing 310 for sets of 2. This week I've moved up to 320. The squats in this are for my physio due to my MCL and flare up through my rupture in my patella from a couple of years back. So started using the camber bar because I'm finding I'm getting a little bit better extension on it, and I'm also able to feel it a bit more through my quads and activate my hamstrings and glutes a lot more. Now this really helps with mobility and stretching out through my injuries without having to load up lots of weight to be able to feel it. And it also allows me to hit depth and sort of get that comfortable area. I started working on Zercher, as you probably have seen in a couple of videos. I'm changing over to strongman eventually. So you're going to need this for things like wheel of pain, Zercher-based exercises, and just sort of strengthening up through that forearm and that stability area there. This allows me to sit back into the squat a bit more, and it also allows me to work on that sort of hyperflexion through my back and make sure I don't extend it too far and not fall forward with the weight. So it's making me counteract, use my core more, and without having to load up, as I said, ridiculous weights, especially when it comes to physio and recovery type exercises. This is amazing. So this week I will be upping that again, probably up it to about 140 kilos, but this was a perfect weight for the first week of it, just sitting around that 110. Did end up working up to 130 on one of the day, or on that day. But I didn't technically like how deep they were because I tried to do a certain thing of it. Now, leg press is one of my favorite accessories, and I've really got into the single leg press lately. This is 140 kilos, 150 if you include the little sled thing, but I just say 140 because that's the plates on there. And I found this really does help that strength through my quad and through my hamstring, especially when I just change my foot placement that tiny bit. It's a bit close for me, so it's really hard for me to get in and out of it. Now, bench and press has been something that's actually going up quite rapidly for me because I have been focusing on a bit more. About 2 to 3 sessions a week, just depends. I'm trying to keep sort of like a nice split going, but this was 170. And then I've been working around that 150 to 160 for rep range and pause work just to get that strength leading up to my next big powerlifting comp. Now, I have been quite happy with my progression so far. There is some things I would like to change and that I have. I did have a deload a little while back, about 3 weeks ago, and I've only just started increasing my weights, especially on deadlift and squat per se. So deadlift, the first week back, I started off at 300 kilos for sets of 2 to 4 reps, and I'll do about 3 sets. I've now dropped my rep range back to about that 2 to 3 rep range, and this week my working weight is 320 to 330 kilos, depending on how it feels. I'm sticking with 320 this week because it's moving really nicely, and the place I'm mainly training at this week, to get the 330 on the bar safely, it's very hard setup, and I'd rather just have a safe weight on the bar that I know is not going to fall off or lean to one side. Now, when I warm up for these sets, I tend to either do a pause rep, so hold it at the top, or do a pause at the bottom, just to get the feel of the weight. So when I'm actually preparing to lift it, I'm a lot more tighter through my core and through my set. First day I did the 706 or the 320 kilos, or 706 pound or 320. I had a bit of a struggle with just a bit of pain through my MCL, so I dropped a set and just did 3 sets of 2. So I still got some working sets in, but just dropped it down a bit. And then I dropped back to, I think it was 310 kilos and did another 3 sets of 2. So I extended my sets, but just dropped the weight down. And then the other day, as you can see, I ended up doing 4 sets of 2. The final set, I think, is the one I included, or the 2 final sets are the ones I included. I was a lot more explosive that day. I ended up doing 730 pounds for a couple of singles. As you can see, the weight tends to fall off, which did end up throwing me off a fair bit. So I just did 2 singles on it, midway in between the 685 and the 706 pound. But it moved so smoothly, I was really happy with it. I knew I could have done more. And then leading up to today's session, where I ended up getting a rep PR on 150 kilos, and I was doing fatigue sets at that point, so I was really happy. So I did 160 for a couple of doubles with a minute rest, and then another minute rest, and went straight onto 150 for 3 sets of 5, which honestly, after 180 kilo 1 rep for the day, I was really happy. It moved quite quick. And then I did some incline to finish off. I did close grip, and then I just did normal. Finished off with a 1 rep max PR of 140 kilos. Hope you guys enjoy and keep up to date. Peace out.